Alright, future Mike. You know who this is. This is the third time I've tried to make this video. I think I really have a good grasp of how this is going to go. I could be wrong, but I'm reading a book right now, The Hunger Fix. And in this book, it has a section of it. It says, create your hunger fix food journal. Okay? Well, the reason I'm creating this food journal video is because many of you may know, if this video does get out on YouTube, I started back in 2011 my weight loss journey. And the hardest part was that it was starting March 1st, 2011. I didn't video blog right away. I know I haven't video blogged in a long time, but this video blog is by far probably the most understanding piece of the pie that I need to clear my plate to move forward. I did a lot of videos because I was doing the workout programs, but I've never done a video that really expresses truly the hunger fix of why I wanted to lose weight. And I think this video will really give a true meaning of what that has to be like when someone goes from being 340 pounds. I've been as low as 198.6, and right now I'm about 219.7. So I know I haven't done this in a while, but bear with me. Let me go through some of this. In this book, it says, in each step of the Hunger Fix program, you're going to use this food journal to lock down and lock in the rewards you get for the book, and things that eliminate what are called false fixes, the things you go to return to instead of, you turn to food. In each installment, you will speak to yourself in future tense to remind yourself that person what false fixes have done in your life and why you want to change them. And there's more to read, but I'll start there. False fixes have pretty much exactly what they say, false. They're a short-term fix that have given me nothing in return except a quick hit. What else gives you a quick hit? Drugs. The one problem I've seen in society, as well as myself, you may have a Subway, a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, Papa Murphy's Take and Bake, Wendy's, Burger King, all those places in a short grasp of a hand. If a person's got a food addiction, think about a person that has a drug addiction. If they could get every one of their fixes within less than a mile radius because of all those restaurants nearby, you have a pretty dang good business. You know what you're doing, and you can sell the product because you'll keep the customers coming back. That's what food does. It keeps you coming back for more. Well, my last video blog, I believe, was the one where I had dropped to 198.6, and here for a long time I've really struggled, like maintaining that within a 5-pound range. It hasn't happened in a long time. The problem is that I felt like I was becoming indestructible. I could work out as much as I wanted, but I could still eat the amount of chocolate I wanted. And this book, I made another video earlier that was 19 minutes. The problem was the audio wasn't there, and I let it out. I don't know if I can repeat that. That was a ton of emotions I let out that I think I just needed to let out. And if I cry, I cry. If I don't, I don't. It's pretty honest. False fixes have done your life and why you want to change them. It says get emotional if you want. Scream, rant, rave, or sit quietly, thoughtfully as you tell your truth. Continue with the hunger video journal throughout this program as a progress tracker, more so than a snapshot. A video can be powerful, visceral reminder of where you started and how far you've come. There's a notebook I have that said, Mike, really? 232.7? No more. I want out. I did. I wanted out. Not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. I'm almost 2 weeks. I wanted out so bad. I had wrappers everywhere. I started hiding food again. I started buying pizzas. I started eating what I wanted. And my stomach started sweating. And I'm like, what's going on with me? Like, I couldn't help it. Well, I was going back into I was recessing. And it was a mess. So much of my life has been taken away from me. Future Mike, think back to as a child when you were a kid. And you just kept eating. You go to McDonald's and have food binges. You'd eat the most fries. You know, family events. Food was everywhere. And it can be used to meditate, to heal. Why do you think it's like, oh, I'm in a food coma? You're in a food coma for a reason. You're in a drug coma for a reason. It is so highly intoxicating and addicting to be in a food addiction. You know, most of the time people don't go get intake treatment. They have to deal with their life. They have to deal with their values. You know, if they have faith, whatever it is, I had to deal with that. You had to deal with that. Mike, it was so hard. So much of your life has just been taken from you because you let it. That's not the point. The point is, it did happen. You can't change it. I remember being in college. Go in the cafeteria. Oh, let's get 3 cookies. No, let's get 6. Let's take 20 cookies to our freaking room and eat them. White chocolate macadamia. You know, buffets were the king of kings and the lord of lords. You never wanted to let it go. You just would medicate and eat it, and it wouldn't have any value. It wouldn't add up to much. You want to be around longer. You lost your dad. You lost your father to a heroin addiction. That's hard. Something you're so consumed with that nothing else matters. And you can't get them back. And Mike, you want to stay around longer as much as you can. You want to be there for your future children. You know, September 28th, 2006, you told yourself you knew you were going to have to grow up, but you didn't know how. You're still doing it. You're looking 8 years later. You're just doing it. It's been a long journey. But don't let this be something that you have to go back to. Man, I wish I would have changed it again. Build on this. Let it grow. You've been trying for several months now. You know, you've gone through a bunch of injuries. But look at everything you have now versus what you did have. You know, much of your childhood you escaped. You were so sedated. You didn't know how to function or be a part of life. Mike, don't go back. It says, I'd like you to talk about what has brought you to this moment, recall any of the most challenging times you've experienced, your own weight, describe the experiences in the most graphic detail as possible, and why you're walking away from it. It's so hard to begin to even understand why we did it, why it had to happen. The one thing I do know is you don't have to go back. Did not know all the food places, everything is pretty much your best friend for that short time. You're in there, they treat you well, they give you good customer service, and then when you leave, you're no longer with them. Sounds kind of like you go get your drugs from your dealer and you leave. And you're happy. I'll admit, yeah, some of the places you try to make the best food choices possible. It's possible, but the biggest thing is when you're in control and you have the foods in your court, you can do more with it. So, you know the emotions you let out earlier. It was the first video by far was the hardest video I think I've ever done. This one is more of just, I know what I did, and I know where I'm going to go. I lost my father. I lost my friends, my family. I disconnected myself from society. So many times, I'd be like, oh, I can just go get food. Or I'd make up excuses because I'd go get stuff for people, and then I could start getting stuff because I'm like, well, if I'm getting it for them, I might as well get myself something. I'm like, oh, they can handle portion control. I can't. Clearly, I can't. I can't do that with chocolate. I can't do that with ice cream. I can't do that with cake. Psychologically, no, it's not going to happen. I'm not trying to say that I can. It's just not. Those trigger things, it's like, oh, I can have just one little hit. No, it's not possible. And Mike, you have to accept that there's just some stuff you just have to be like, I have to walk away from. Mike, you remember going to your mom's buffet birthday recently? You gorged, you went to town, you almost physically threw up. And then when you got on that scale, and it said 232.7, you said enough. I want out. I don't want this relationship anymore. It's hurting me too bad. You want to be around probably a little bit longer. So, Mike, if you have it, state your epiphany loud and clear. I don't want to go down knowing that food was the reason that my life's over, that I stopped doing stuff, that I couldn't ride the rides at Six Flags. Your biggest strength you have is that when someone tells you no, or that you tell yourself, I can't do that you turn around and figure a freaking way to get it done. You have to remember the strengths you have and what you have in front of yourself, including this tool and your friends and family that will support you. They will tell you, hey, it's okay. We don't have to have a birthday cake. If you want fruit, we'll give you fruit. I need something different. And that's why I chose this book. That's why I chose you to talk to you right now, is because this video is probably one of the hardest things you have to do. I'm probably going to cry more just listening to it and trying to remind myself of why I did what I did. But look at what I have done since 2011. I went from 340 pounds. I ain't that anymore. I sit there and I go in the stores and I'm like, really? These are the clothes I had to use to shop for? A 2X, a 3X, 44 pants, 42 pants, 40 pants. I remember I'm like, Jesus, I can't figure it out. Oh, 1 year, 1 month I'm 44, the next time I'm 40, next I'm 46, 44, 42, 44. I was bouncing all over the place. And I was having to buy the different sizes every year. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, this video gets on YouTube. It's real. Food addictions suck. It's the truth. But if you think about it like a drug addiction, it's kind of scary. If you're not a fan of drugs, or you've lost a family member to drugs, it may hit a little more home than you think. There was a movie out there called The Home Run about a guy that went to a 12-step program. He had an alcohol addiction, and he got intaked, and it's called Celebrate Recovery. I'm in recovery the rest of my life. The rest of my life. That's hard to even understand, that the rest of my life, things are not going to be the same. That the fat pockets that I created to stretch my skin out, it's always going to be there. It's a scar. I accept that. I accept the damage that I did and the emotional scar that I gave myself for 20 plus years. I'm going to be 30 this year, and I have to live with this. And it hurts so bad that I did this to myself. Mike, please keep going from here. Don't let this be the end of it. Allow yourself to break free, remove the shackles, and do not go back. Do not take this lightly. Take it very serious, and if somebody tries to convince you elsewise, let them know. Thank you for their opinion, but you still have a fight to fight, and you're not going to give up. Don't do that. For so long, you've been able to do so much, and you have people that will support you. Just remember that. And if anybody you feel has hurt you, look how much you've hurt yourself. And don't let yourself be beat up over it, because Mike is a victim for 20 plus years. I've forgiven the old self, and I let the new be new. I don't want a part of it anymore. So Mike, allow yourself to be forgiven, and allow yourself to be healed as long as it takes. There's no time frame on this. The healing hurts, and it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be able to get through these things. I know you can do it. So allow yourself to embrace, and allow yourself to trust, and allow yourself to move forward on the steps you need to take. Mike, I love you, and please remember, you've got this.